Nikon NIKKOR Z 400mm f4.5 VR S, the silent game changer for wildlife shooters. There is a specific kind of frustration that serious wildlife photographers rarely talk about out loud. You invest in the reach, you invest in the glass, and then you spend half your day in the field managing weight instead of managing the shot. That quiet physical cost adds up in ways most people never calculate. Your arms tire, your tracking suffers, and somewhere around hour 4, you start making compromises you never intended to make. Most people call it part of the craft. But what if the weight was always optional? Have you ever wondered how many shots you actually missed because the lens was working against you? The consequences stack quietly and consistently. First, it costs you time. Every extra second adjusting a front-heavy lens while a bird banks left or a sprinter breaks the line is a moment that does not return. Second, it costs you energy in a way that is almost suffocating by midday, leaving your arms shaky precisely when steady hands matter most. Third, and this is the part most photographers never say aloud, it costs you future opportunities. Because when a lens becomes a burden, you start leaving it behind. And the shots you leave at home never make it into your portfolio or your memory. Something better has been sitting in this class of lenses all along. The gap between exhausting and effortless turns out to be much smaller than the industry ever suggested. You are one decision away from that line. This is where the Nikon NIKKOR Z 400mm f4.5 VRS enters, and everything changes. The core mechanism is simple. A 400mm prime lens, engineered to be the lightest in its class, with every optical and mechanical decision made to keep it in your hands longer and working harder for you. And yes, I tested this myself. Here is what that means in practice. The 5.5 stop VR system means you are shooting handheld at focal lengths that used to demand a tripod. The STM autofocus motor locks fast and runs silent, which matters the moment a kingfisher moves and your camera needs to move with it. The center of gravity sits closer to the camera body, so tracking feels natural rather than strained. The nanocrystal coat kills ghosting in backlit conditions, where other lenses fall apart. The fluorine-coated front element sheds rain and fingerprints before they affect a shot. And with teleconverter support, you are at 560mm or 800mm without changing lenses entirely. Wait, a 400mm prime this light is actually allowed to produce this level of sharpness? Don't just pick any super telephoto prime. Make sure it has multi-layer VR with in-body synchro capability so you never feel that grinding arm fatigue and lost shot frustration halfway through a full field day ever again. Drop a yes below if you have ever left a long lens at home because carrying it felt like too much. The immediate result is a sharper keeper rate per session. The weekly win is more time in the field before fatigue forces you back. The long-term freedom is a lens you actually bring every time because it never feels like a burden. PC Mag called the Nikon NIKKOR Z 400mm f4.5 VRS a standout telephoto with exemplary optics in a lightweight frame at a very reasonable price for its class. Photography Life described it as Nikon's lightest 400mm and a genuine first choice for wildlife and sports work. Best Buy verified customers specifically praised the sharpness and the fast, reliable autofocus in real field conditions. One user described beautiful bokeh and consistent subject tracking, even through erratic movement. I noticed this after 3 weeks of handheld use. The hit rate on fast-moving subjects improved noticeably, not because technique changed, but because the lens stopped fighting the process. Compared to heavier alternatives in this focal range, the balance advantage alone changes how long you can shoot effectively. Which of these benefits hits you hardest? Comment 1 for sharpness, 2 for portability, 3 for autofocus confidence. The deepest felt benefit of the Nikon NIKKOR Z 400mm f4.5 VRS is not the reach or the sharpness alone. It is the fact that you will actually use it, every session, without negotiation. Thousands of wildlife and sports photographers have quietly made this the lens that stays on the camera. Every day you wait is a field session with the wrong lens or no lens at all. Link in the description. First one, pinned to the top. Go see what your shooting days could actually feel like.
For demo videos and current pricing, check the link in the description.